A long time ago, in a small mountain village in the northeast of the mainland, there lived two families like this. The younger brother's family lived in the east courtyard, and the older sister's family lived in the west courtyard, and the two families were separated by only a wall. The younger brother's family was poor, and sometimes they had no food to eat. Although the older sister's family was not rich, they had enough food and clothing. During the Dragon Boat festival of this year, the younger brother's grain jar was empty again, and the younger brother sent his child to the older sister's house to borrow grain. It happened that the older sister was grinding flour in the mill, so she took the thin gong and filled it with flour, and asked the child to take it back. In the blink of an eye, it was the wheat harvest season. The younger brother's wheat harvest was not bad, and the younger brother planned to return the flour he borrowed from the older sister. The younger brother thought that the older sister's family didn't like this little thing anyway, and returning the flour was just a formality, so he turned the gong over, filled it with a shallow layer of flour with the bottom, and sent the child to the older sister to deliver it. Of course, the older sister would not care, and the older sister had no intention of asking the younger brother for it at all, and the matter passed like this. One day, the younger brother got an acute illness and died. When the younger brother woke up, he found that he had become a little hen among the chicks cared for by the big hen in his sister's house. The little hen remembered everything in her previous life clearly. She knew that what she owed her sister in her previous life as a human, she had to pay back in this life as a chicken. The little hen grew up gradually, and one day she was going to lay eggs. She thought to herself, I can't let my sister down this time. I must lay big eggs to repay her. She kept holding it in, wanting the egg to grow bigger and bigger, until her crown was red, and she couldn't hold it in any longer, and a big egg fell on the straw in the chicken coop. The hen looked back and saw, wow, it's quite big. The hen happily ran to her sister, flapped her wings and shouted, it's quite big, it's quite big. That meant to tell her that I didn't let you down this time. It is said that from then on, a tradition was formed among hens. After laying eggs, they would always run to their owners and shout, it's big. In this way, the hen laid eggs at her sister's house for 3 years, paying off the debt she owed to her sister in her previous life, and then reincarnated again. This is exactly borrowing with a gong and paying it back with a gong. You can hide it from the eyes of humans, but not from the heavens. I owed my sister a debt in my previous life. I reincarnated as a chicken and paid it back for 3 years. This story contains profound moral education, significance, and reflects the concept of karma and reincarnation in traditional Chinese culture. The story tells that the younger brother was reincarnated as a chicken because of unfair behavior in the human world, and he paid off his debts in his previous life by laying eggs. This not only shows that good and evil will eventually be rewarded, but also teaches people to be homesick and trustworthy and treat others fairly. The younger brother in the story borrowed flour from his sister because of poverty in the human world. The sister generously helped him, but when the younger brother returned the flour, he used the means to make the amount of flour he returned less than the amount he borrowed. Although this behavior was not directly punished in the human world, it has constituted a debt in morality. After the younger brother died, he was reincarnated as a chicken. His inner conscience made him want to make up for the deficiency of his previous life by laying eggs. Every time it laid an egg, it would run to the owner to report its bake, which is both an affirmation of its own efforts and a gratitude and repayment to the owner. The story also tells us that even small animals have their value and meaning of existence, and humans should treat animals well, because all things have spirits. At the same time, the elder sister in the story represents kindness and tolerance. She does not care about her brother's mistakes, which also reflects the benevolence spirit in Chinese traditional culture. In contemporary society, this story still has its educational significance, reminding people to be homesick and trustworthy in daily life, to treat others impartially and selflessly, and to have a tolerant attitude, to understand and help those in need. Such values and codes of conduct are important cornerstones for building a harmonious society.